With 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. living with prediabetes and 42% living with obesity, intermittent fasting has become an increasingly popular catch-all to conquer both. But is it truly helpful, or is it just hype? Our medical correspondent, Dr. Darien Sutton, is here to break it down for us. So, Dr. Sutton, how is this supposed to work? What's the idea behind it?
We've all heard of intermittent fasting, so just to break it down, this essentially is time-restricted eating, and the thought behind this is twofold. One, to reduce calories, but also to have your body do something called a metabolic switch. This is when you switch from breaking down sugar or glucose to breaking down fats and producing ketones. That's what your liver produces when you break down fats. And the biological theory behind this is that this helps to improve insulin sensitivity, that helps to keep your blood sugar low, and it also helps your cells on a microscopic level fight against something called oxidative stress. This is what and eventually will aid you in the long term. And collectively, these are the reasons why it's found in studies that intermittent fasting is associated with not only weight loss, but also reductions in the risk of diabetes, as well as chronic disease.
Well, that sounds incredible, but how does it compare to standard dieting when it comes to weight loss and controlling diabetes?
You know, overall, when you look at the studies, the benefits in terms of weight loss are there, but they're marginal and they're not dramatic. On average, people lose about 7 to 11 pounds in the first 10 weeks, but when you look at the studies, for those who are really strict, they can lose up to 13% of their body weight, and that can be more than 20 pounds. But important to note, there are studies that show that when you do this to the extremes, as we were discussing during the break, that can be associated to risk. A reminder, the extremes of any diet should really be avoided.
Do you tell your brother that?
I try.
He has a twin brother who he says does intermittent fasting.
He's definitely on the extreme end.
But it's a good point. I mean, it seems easier said than done, perhaps. But if you do want to give this a try, where do you start? What do you recommend? And who maybe should avoid this altogether?
You know, great question. So when you want to start, there's a couple of different options you can do. Number one, you can time restrict. The studies show that starting at a 10-hour eating window period can help. For example, eating between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. Or even, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, the 5-to-2 plan. This is when you have 5 days of essentially normal eating with 2 days of severe restrictions down to 500 to 1,000 calories. Now, again, it's whatever you feel most comfortable for. But for the second part of your question, who shouldn't? For pregnant women, you should definitely avoid this. It's not the time to do that. Those who have type 1 diabetes, because there's a risk of having severely low blood sugar, which can become a medical emergency. And I would also advise that if you have a condition like type 2 diabetes or medications that can lower your blood sugar, talk to your provider before you do something like this, because there are risks that you have to know about it.
Yeah, always talk to your provider,
Always
and maybe your brother, too. He can give us some extra advice.
I'll bring him on next time.
Thank you, Dr. Sutton, as always.